They know I got them vibes, so you know them fans watching me.
They in my chat with the shit. Oh, they must think they can stop me. See, we got Raj on the scopes. Now don't get sniped out the lobby.
He is not on me. Now tell me, what do you see?
We send the vibes to the nation. LIB and I, we got with this shit. Just think it came out.
See, it's 99% cap, 1% gameplay, 100% vibe. Don't bring that bullshit my way. Try your luck, go against the vibe. Where you fuck, you gon' think I'm Mike Grable the way I make them tighten up. You'll be lucky if you even score. You should read more, though I choose to live in peace. You should know I bleed war. I'm a recon man, one of the best in the sport. I keep a drone on my hip, I let it out to explore. They say the ops on the way. I see one, I know it's more. They just ran inside a building, my EMP gon' deploy. Make a panic, play support. Crypto going manic, they tryna figure out how I do assault damage. Real just march the surroundings, I know they can't stand it. Morosky sending out his ghost and they don't understand it. I'm headed to the high grounds to get an overstanding. Now you from a distance, see your partners, they just left you stranded. Damn, you know you headed to the lobby, right? Sorry for your awful fight, I admit it was easy. Get you some practice or you always die. I know you doing that ping thing, they gone, made it out of sniper range. Level 1 knockdown shield, it's been 7 minutes in the fucking game, I'm devoted. Hit you with the devotion, hear it wind up, quick motion. Now I'm headed with the wind to your partners, but I'm focused. See, GOAT just hit that beast on the hunt. Ghosts and ghosts, we reloaded, blow the EMP and we done. They know I got them vibes, so you know them fans watching me.
They in my chat with the shit. Oh, they must think they can stop me. See, we got Raj on the scopes. Now don't get sniped out the lobby.
He is not on me. Now tell me, what do you see?
We send the vibes to the nation.
Coop, it's the bipolar. Corey Mack.
Let me teach you how to vibe.
Kicks wheel now. B Walker, what it do for you? We tapped in. Yo, what's good? Happy football Sunday night. Bears, Niners, almost at halftime. Been a family day for me, man. Hope everybody day was blessed. If you watching on Facebook, like, comment, share, follow, tap in with the daily content. If you watching on YouTube, got picture in picture. Daily shop talks drop every day, 8 a.m. Like, comment, share, subscribe to the channel. If you watching on Twitch, Amazon Prime, you can sub
Let me
to the
teach
channel
you how to
free
vibe.
once a month. Picture in picture. And if you watching on Kick, no ads, picture in picture, up to 50 emotes you can use for free. Just be a follower of the channel. And we live. We're here. Titans, Saints, crazy back and forth game today. Two Ricky quarterbacks going at it. Tyler Shuck absolutely bombed the Tennessee Titans secondary. And furthering to PK's sentiment about the Tennessee Titans, all the decisions they have made with their secondary last offseason and this season leading up to today is just a culmination of, you put practice squad guys out there, you put them on Johnson, Olave, and in my keys to the game, I said we knew Kellen Moore would dial up some shots for those guys, and they dialed them up and they cashed in. Crazy play from Chase Young with a strip sack touchdown that really changed the momentum of the game. Then Cam Ward made a crazy play in the fourth quarter that got overturned that would have had the Titans first and goal just about. But ultimately, Titans secondary just was too lost, gave up too many bombs to the Saints, as well as Aldrick Estime, running back that a lot of Titan fans wanted to get this offseason that they wanted to pick up and sign on waivers, wind up coming back to bomb us. I think he may have had 13 or 14 carries for almost 100 yards. Titans gave up a gazillion yards of total offense today. Tyler Shuck, 22 of 27, 333, 2 touchdowns, no picks, 2 sacks. Had a sack fumble from Jeff Simmons, but I don't think they got enough pressure on Shuck. And then Cam Ward, 21 of 40, 251, 2 touchdowns, no picks, but sacked 4 times, and one of those for a touchdown. Both teams ran the ball about the same, 103 yards for the Saints, 108 yards for the Tennessee Titans. But Olave, 8 for 119 and a touchdown, and Jawan Johnson, 4 for 95. Seemed like Jawan Johnson was open the whole entire game. And then if we want to go to team stats, like I said, I thought the Saints had let's see, total yards of offense, 423 yards of total offense on the road in Nashville. You can't give that up at home and expect to win. But GG's to all my Saints fans out there, man. Y'all look like y'all found y'all coach. Your team is gelled down the stretch, and Tyler Shuck is developing directly into what y'all want him to be. Just got to have a good off season. Y'all traded Shaheed, so you should have extra draft picks, extra draft capital right at the top 10 in the draft with the Tennessee Titans to go after some talent to help that young team develop and grow. This Sunday night football game is kind of crazy up and down, Coop. Comedy 2 times. Big Jeff KT2 said Penn State legend Jawan Johnson, he bombed us today. Looked like he was open the whole game, and they couldn't tackle. Steelers got to cough up the bag now. Yet crazy that the Steelers lose to the Browns. Shedeur Sanders 13-6 game. Is the DK Metcalf suspension biting them in the... And we got Deshaun, great battle between the 2 rookies. Yeah, that was a good game right there. Adrian Hart, GG's. It definitely was a good game. Shout out to all my Saints fans. Man, y'all been one thing I say about the Saints fans, y'all are level-headed. Most fan bases be crazy. Y'all was pretty solid going back and forth today. I rock with the Saints fan base. May Jonathan Tiggs, sort of defense should be a priority in the offseason. I feel like it was before, but like, you know, I don't always agree with other Titans media personalities, but I definitely agree with PK's piece that he wrote today
Let me
about,
teach you how to vibe.
L'Jarius Sneed, alleged drive-by shooting, Jarvis Brownlee on the
Let me
Jets,
teach you how to vibe.
Roger McCreary on the Rams. Then you go to cornerback 4, Marcus Harris out IR. And then you go to Cheeto Awuzie, who would have been another starting corner, is on the Ravens. And they got a play-in game, Steelers-Ravens next Sunday, with Derrick Henry been going crazy. He's been playing good for them. So you really starting at cornerback 7 with Baker Jr. off waivers. Womack, they cut him. Then you go to Armar Davis out for the season today on IR. So, you know, that's cornerback 7, 8, and 9. And then 10 is Kairi Lam and Kaman Hall.
Let me teach you how
if
to
I'm saying his
vibe.
name correctly. You know, you get down to like cornerback 10 and starting, you in a bad situation up front in the office of being able to put depth and talent on the field. And it cost them today. It seemed like Olave and Johnson was running open, and he missed. Shuck missed him a couple times where like he overthrew him where they was wide open. Shuck and Cam both balled. Going down throw was crazy. Yeah, Cam got that in him. He's a wide receiver turned tight end, so he can really run routes. Yo, Corey. Ravens Joe. He said, do you think the Titans will end the season with the number 4 pick? It's a site that I follow that will give us the update. I told y'all that the Raiders would lose to the Giants on purpose today, and that took the Giants out of the number 1 pick and put the Raiders solely in first place of the number 1 pick. The Cardinals are behind the Titans, and then you have the Giants now on basically dropped themselves like 4 spots in the first overall pick race. So Titans are guaranteed a top 5 pick at this point. Titans are guaranteed a top 5 pick. What's good, Ocho, man? Bill, what's good? Definitely a classic game going on tonight. So let me pull this up. Y'all know I keep this type of stuff on deck. Let me get to this account. If y'all are on Twitter, Seth Walder on Twitter, he's got the projected draft order coming into Sunday. The Raiders were 1, Giants 2, Browns 3, Jets 4, Titans 5, Cardinals 6, Commanders 7. Raiders lose to Giants on purpose, get the number 1 pick. Giants drop down, Browns drop down, Jets and Titans move up. So now Jets pick 2nd, Titans pick 3rd, Cardinals lost, they pick 4th, and Commanders will pick 5th. Titans play Jaguars to end the season. And now we look down the stretch to see that the top 5 should be locked at this point. Raiders, Jets, Titans, Cardinals, Commanders, then Giants and Browns drop down. And if we're looking at the NFL schedule, for week 18, you'll have the Jets play Buffalo at Buffalo. So the Jets will probably lock in the 2 or 3 seed. Jets got a top 3 pick. Raiders got the number 1 pick. The Browns go to Cincinnati. Kansas City will play the Raiders. I'm pretty sure the Raiders will lose that game at home to lock in the number 1 pick. And then you have the Commanders go to Philadelphia, who won tonight in a crazy game over the Bills. So I expect Washington to have a top 5 pick. And then we go down. Titans play at Jacksonville. Jacksonville can lock in the AFC South, I believe, with a win at home over the Titans. So that would put the Titans in a top 5 pick, potentially top 2 or 3, but it's no way I see the Jets winning at Buffalo, and no way that the Raiders beat the Chiefs to get the number 1 seed. But if somehow, some way, the Raiders beat the Chiefs in the season finale, then that would put the Jets with the number 1 pick. Jets would have the number 1 pick and 2 first rounders. Titans would be right behind them. Then it would be let's see, who do the Cardinals and Commanders play down the stretch? Commanders play at Philly. They'll have the 3 or the 4 pick, and then Cardinals play on the road at the Rams. So all the teams that's fighting for a pick are playing teams that should beat them, with the exception of the Raiders. The Raiders could beat the Chiefs if the Chiefs are really tanking. So this could be an interesting end, that if the Raiders win this game, they will be probably the dumbest franchise I've seen in recent memory.
Let me teach you how to vibe.
If you're the Raiders, you lose on purpose. You've already got Max Crosby out for the season, going on IR to get surgery. If you're the Raiders, you lose this game and lock the number 1 pick. If somehow the Raiders win, the Jets could have the number 1 pick and 2 first rounders, which would be really crazy. He said, and with the 3rd pick in the NFL draft, the Tennessee Titans select. There's a chance that the Tennessee Titans, there's an honest chance that the Tennessee Titans could get the 2nd pick in the draft. But you know what's funny? The Jets had a 2.5% chance of getting the number 1 pick coming into this Sunday. And if the Raiders win against the Chiefs in week 18, the Jets would have the number 1 overall pick, followed by the Titans, Cardinals, Commanders, Giants, Browns. Let's see. That's crazy. So like, I think what's going to swing is, what do the Raiders do? The Browns go to Cincinnati, and then the Chiefs play at Las Vegas. Those 3 games will determine who gets the number 1 pick. You know, best case scenario for the Titans is Raiders win, Browns beat the Bengals, and like there's no chance that the Jets beat Buffalo, but I think the Jets have got at least the 2nd overall pick locked in. Yeah, Cam been looking good after the bye. But see, back when I told y'all I like this quarterback class, Cam Ward, Shedeur, Jackson Dart, Tyler Shuck, Will Howard, Jalen Milroe. It's some guys we ain't got to see, but everybody was so high on this class coming this year. But what happened to Drew Aller and Cade Klubnik and all these guys that they told us was going to be the quarterback class worth waiting on? And it seems as if everybody who drafted their quarterback is got a guy. Looks like they all got a guy. And leave it to week 18 to see who tanks. If I'm the Raiders, I tank. And if it stays set, I'm cool with that. Raiders, Jets, Titans. Titans will have a top 3 pick. That would be great. The Titans have so many holes to fill at defensive back, at edge, wide receiver. They got to really figure out what they want to do with the offensive line. Offensive line that had jailed the last month came into today. They didn't play bad, but they didn't play good either. And that strip sack from Chase Young, if JC Latham plays to the whistle, that never happens. You know, you kind of give up on a play and your quarterback extends it and gets hit because you gave up on it. If you look at when Chig was trying to run down Chase Young, there was a player for the Saints that ran and held him off, and then they didn't hold him off when Kamon Hall when they got the strip on Pettis. And then you look at certain situations when people don't finish the play, when people don't block downfield, that's when you get those strip fumbles from behind, when people kind of give up on a play. You said they dogged it last year. Antonio said, hold my beer. Thank God he did. I know Josh Allen is hurt. They might take that L. I didn't like this QB class or the next one, but there always will be some good QBs. Not necessarily that Kenny Pickett year was trash. But this was my point, was I think the Titans made the right move by drafting Cam. If they would have taken, you know, Abdul Carter or whoever they was waiting on, you know, in this situation, they would be right back in this situation trying to draft a QB. And if Dante Moore decides to stay in college, if Ty Simpson goes back and it's just Fernando Mendoza, I'm not crazy about Mendoza as the top pick. I'm just not. But you know, some people are excited, and some teams have no choice but to go after. I honestly think whoever gets Will Levis, or if Joe Milton ever gets a shot, I think it's some backup guys. I mean, if I was a team, you know, for a bridge, a guy like Davis Mills wouldn't be bad. It's some teams that might be better served taking Bridges than throwing a first overall pick at the QBs this upcoming draft. Most QBs fail because of their scheme, situation fit. Most of the time, talent ain't the problem. But if it's a team that's in such dire need, like right now, the Raiders and the Jets and a few other teams that have to get QBs because they just in a situation where, you know, you the Jets, you got 2 first rounders. You the Browns, if they believe in Shedeur, which I think they should, I think they wasted a draft pick with Dylan Gabriel. But you know, in these situations, like, you're trying to rebuild and you're trying to rebuild fast. You want to be the Patriots, you want to be the Bears, you want to be the Broncos, you want to be these teams that hired the right coach, made the right moves in the offseason and free agency, and drafted right and built something that could turn your team around quick.
Let me teach you how
I'm
to
watching
vibe.
the game. Bears and 49ers is a good game. GG today. I don't know why we're trying to win games. I want a top 5 because you got young players. Most of the Tennessee Titans team is practice squad guys and rookies. You want your rookies to get out and play and get reps. Like, the Titans can't get the number 1 pick. They was playing another team that's gonna have a top 10 pick. So if the Titans would have beat the Saints today, like, that wouldn't have changed nothing about. It wouldn't have changed nothing about the picking order, because the Browns won, the Giants won, the Jets lost, and the Raiders lost. So, like, you don't move up. The Titans had a 0% chance of getting the number 1 pick. Why would you not play to get reps for your young players? I mean, Cam Ward is extending the rookie franchise passing records. Gunnar Helm is extending the rookie tight end records. Tim DK broke Tim Brown's all-time rookie all-purpose yards record.
Let me teach you how to vibe.
You know, A.O. Monner and some of those guys. And plus, for the guys that was in the secondary that was getting their ass kicked today, you wanted to see what, if you go to Spotrac and look at the cornerbacks that's going to be up in free agency, the Titans have like 4 or 5 of them. Like, you want to see what Elam got. He's a former first-round talent. You want to see what Armar Davis got. Unfortunately, he got, you know, put on IR and he's out for the season. And then you got Baker Jr. and some of these young guys in the secondary. You want to see what you got. So you got to put them out there and get them reps, because Titans got a lot of decisions to make. You know, you want to see if your offensive line can hold up. You spend so much money and draft capital on, if they can hold up the last 2 months of the season. Since the bye week, the Titans have been playing good football. So you want to play. So, like, I don't understand the logic of saying we want to lose on purpose, even if it means losing a home game to the Saints with a bunch of rookies on your team. Got you nowhere closer to the number 1 pick than you did. Even if they won the game today, it wouldn't change them. The Titans have a 60% chance coming into this week that they was gonna have a top 5 pick anyways. So, like, with the Raiders and the Giants played each other, one of those teams was gonna have to drop, and then the Browns upset the Steelers. So, you know, even if the Titans would have won, they would have went from 3 to 4, 3 to 5. They wouldn't have went no lower than that. So I don't understand the logic of saying you want to lose on purpose and not get your rookies reps. We all know in the combine these QBs is gonna shoot up the board. I don't know. Depending on who comes out, I think you could see some edge rushers, some offensive linemen. I think you could see some cornerbacks. The cornerbacks are all kind of rated kind of low. I think it's some guys that can run some crazy 40 times. Nick Harbor is a guy that when people see him run, it's going to change his status. You know, a lot of guys are going to go to the Senior Bowl and increase their status just by playing against the other seniors. They said, who that? Yo, GG's Lil D, man. Shout out to all the Saints fans out there. They said, we selling Russ to the Raiders for their number 1 pick. For one, you're not getting the number 1 pick out of Russell Wilson. You got a better chance of getting more out of Jameis Winston than Russell Wilson. And they was both on 1-year deals. You might got a different tone about Tyler. I mean, y'all got a good coach. I think as much as to be excited about Tyler Shook for the Saints fans, you should be excited that you really feel like you got the right coach. I mean, Kellen Moore is a play caller. He dialed up some shit that people was running butt naked today, and he got the young guys playing hard. So, like, if you're a Saint fan, you should be happy. Snead hurt. DeMarcus. L'Jarius Sneed has been indicted for alleged drive-by shooting. He could be healthy as a show horse, bro. Like, he's got indicted for being the driver to an alleged drive-by shooting where G-Wagon got shot up. I don't think he's thinking about football right now, bro. I mean, you think about Sneed, Cheetah Bay Awuzie, Jarvis Brownlee Jr., Roger McCreary, Marcus Harris. Like, your top 5 corners are not even active to play football. And 3 of them are on other teams. It said the Saints. Yeah, Tyler Suck balled out today. See, Tennessee Titans got to get them an Olave, man. That's what we need, a number 1 receiver. He said, y'all better keep Chig. Yeah, I mean, I've been saying the whole time that Chig is one of 3 players in the last 29 picks that the Titans should extend. I don't think it's going to cost them much if they go ahead and extend him to a team-friendly deal. Even if they wanted to give him some kind of prove-it deal, like keeping him as the move tight end and letting Gunnar Helm be tight end 1, maybe going to the draft and getting like a Lawson Lucky or, you know, a Joe Royer, maybe a 5th, 6th, 7th round pick. You can get a big physical blocking tight end that can catch to go in between that trio. I don't think you spend that much to keep Chig as your move tight end. Zay was good. They said, wish you would have got a DK. Yeah, DK is a goon. Bill said, wait, you didn't know? Yeah, this, like, you people had to remember, like, the Titans put 3 safeties on IR: Kevin Winston Jr., Xavier Woods, and Mike Brown. So you have Kendall Brooks, who was at Pizza Hut, playing free safety with Hallett, Jarek Reed. Like, that, this really is a practice squad secondary, but I ain't tripping because you get to see if these guys is worth keeping around. I think out of the DBs, maybe Baker Jr. in rotation in Elam, but next year, only person I'm bringing back is Marcus Harris, the rookie that was playing the best out of all our DBs before he got hurt and put on IR. So, you know, Titans got to spend some money in free agency at defensive back. Alontae Taylor, a Saint today that was balling out. I don't think he's coming to Nashville, but that's definitely a player that's going to be a free agent that I wouldn't mind having on as a starting cornerback for the Titans. He definitely a YN. Definitely. I don't wish legal troubles on anybody. I hope that L'Jarius Sneed is innocent and exonerated of charges and come back healthy next year, because the Titans are going to lose $8 million just by having to cut him if he's not available to play, because he had a quad injury before his indictment. Definitely proud of my boys. Might be at 6-8. We continue next year on the way up. I mean, y'all could be next year if y'all make the right moves what the Panthers was this year. But like I said, y'all got some guys y'all got to decide who you gonna keep around for next year. Chig is definitely a part of the future. Said Chig did Kool-Aid dirty to get that touchdown. Big Jeff with a 10-sack season, not bad for a nose tackle. I mean, he leads the league in interior lineman sacks and tackles for loss. So, I mean, Big Jeff definitely had a season. But he needs help because Draymond Jones is balling on the Ravens. Have y'all not followed this theme that Draymond Jones is balling for the Ravens, who play the Steelers for a chance to get in the playoffs next Sunday? Hopefully the Ravens win that game. Steeler fans, don't be mad if the Ravens make the playoffs. We get a 4th round pick instead of a 5th for Draymond Jones, because I think he's got around 9 or 10 sacks. All he had to do is get to 7 and Ravens make the playoffs, and we get a 4th round pick. So another top 100 pick if Draymond Jones, if the Ravens make the playoffs next week. Going shopping next year. I mean, the Tennessee Titans got the most cap space, and they're gonna have a lot of draft picks. And looking at it now, the Titans should get a top 3 pick. I still think they should trade out of that top 3 pick. I think they should do what the Browns did last year. Trade back maybe a couple of spots and stay in the top 10, and then just take best player available, whether it's a receiver, whether it's a corner, whether it's an offensive lineman or defensive lineman.
You how to vibe.
Like, I wouldn't be mad if we traded back in the top 10 and it's Jordan Tyson or Carnell Tate, or if it's Keldrick Falk, if it's Maui Goa, I wouldn't care. You know, just give me best player available and multiple picks. Buddha took Sneed through there when he found out what he did. I actually didn't. I just was like, how do you get involved in a drive-by shooting when you rehabbing your leg and you got a $76 million contract, and you somehow are on tape as allegedly as the driver to one of your mans, your security guy, shooting at a G-Wagon. Like, I hope that this story is false and some people just mad at him and he returns back, and because I don't want the guy to lose a $76 million contract and what that could do for his family. So the plan is still to trade down or keep the better pick. I mean, let's say the Ravens make the playoffs and the Titans have a top 3 pick, a 2nd rounder, a 3rd rounder, 2 4th rounders, the 5th, 2 6th, and a 7th, and a bunch of money, and you still got the potential that, you know, if he was healthy, Will Levis, Tony Pollard, Xavier Woods, like you still got pieces that you could still potentially trade, you know, for 4th to 6th round draft pick capital on top of that. Titans got a lot of decisions to make. And Malik Willis helped our case by seeing a former Titan quarterback go to a good situation and ball out. That, you know, some people could be looking at Will Levis the same way. Will Levis has all the skill set in the world. He just needs the right coaching. And maybe Callahan was bad. Maybe Callahan was more bad for Levis than Levis was for Callahan, if that makes sense. Because they definitely used Levis as the fall guy, the same way that they did Malik Willis, and then look how good he's playing on since he's been in Green Bay. He said Big Jeff is not going to the Bears. Hendricks, what's good? You need that 4th. We take Mike Tomlin in Carolina. Definitely agree on the trade back, because like Arvell Reese would be great, but he's the same thing that Femi was. He's a project. He's a guy that played linebacker that's going to play edge. I don't see how people get so excited for Arvell Reese, but not excited about Femi Oladejo. It's the same thing. It's a guy that plays stand-up linebacker that moved to edge and was really good off the edge, but he's a project, which meaning it's going to probably be the end of his first year or his second year before you really see the improvement. Femi was starting to make those improvements, and then he got hurt and put on IR. They shelved him for the rest of the season, but I mean, dude 6'4", 260 and fast as a running back, you know, playing edge. If you see Femi, like Femi looks like, you know, a bodybuilder or something, pause. But you know, it's the same situation. Then it's like Keldrick Falk is got the prototypical Myles Garrett type of frame. Then there's Ruben Bain, who people down on him because he got short arms. You know, the combine's gonna change a lot. Jordan Tyson is, you know, considered wide receiver 1, but he's got an injury history. And there's Carnell Tate, but everybody knows that Jeremiah Smith is better than Carnell Tate, but he'd be a 1 on the Titans. But do you just get a 1 because you're a bad team? Is keeping Carnell Tate worth trading back and potentially getting like a Denzel Boston and a Zachariah Branch with the pick you trade back for? No. You know, if the Titans brought in, you know, Denzel Boston or Chris Brazzell and then went and got Zachariah Branch at the end of the 3rd round, like, you know, I think Zachariah Branch is going to be every bit as good or better than KC Concepcion, but you know, that's up in the air, you know, because there's like Makai Lemon, there's KC Concepcion, and then there's Zachariah Branch. I think that, you know, Zachariah Branch is going to be just as good as those other two, like that Amon-Ra St. Brown type of twitchy guy. But I still think the Titans should trade back and get as much capital as possible. Even though they got a bunch of bread, I got a new idea of what I think the Titans should do with the mock. I was playing around with it last night, and I'll kind of get into that. Titans got a lot of money free, and if you were going to spend the money in places that you know you need it, Kevin Zeitler made $9 million this year for the Titans, and I think he's been underwhelming, to be fair. But the best offensive guard playing right guard in the NFL that's going to be a free agent is going to be Wyatt Teller, and he's 4 years younger than Zeitler. I'd throw some money at Wyatt Teller, and I would draft more linemen behind that, because you already got Jackson Slater that's going to play center or guard in the future. Preferably, I would be grooming him to be a center. But, you know, I think the Titans should spend some money in the offseason at offensive line, defensive line, and cornerback. You fill in those 3 spots to where you come into the draft where you don't feel like you have to take offensive lineman high. You come into the draft where, like, let's say you got a Jalen Phillips, or you got one of these edge rushers. Let's say you had enough draft capital to trade for Max Crosby, because Max Crosby would be worth a 2nd and a 6th. You have an extra 6th round pick. You could package up a future 2nd and send for Max Crosby, and then towards the end of the draft, and with some of your guys you're going to trade and maneuver back into the 2nd in in the 27 draft. I think it's a lot of different things that you can do. If you're the Tennessee Titans, Trey Hendrickson will be on the market. I think they might have to fill with star talent with that money in places where they know they got an impact player, to where they come into the draft. Like, let's say you traded for, or you acquired Trey Hendrickson or Max Crosby. You would come into the draft saying, let's go after Dennis Sutton at Penn State or Zion Young at Missouri, and let these 6'6", 250, 260 pound edge develop with Femi. Like you might have to go in some situations like that where you have Femi, T Sweat, Big Jeff, and Hendrickson or Max Crosby. If you got the money to do it, I think that's the direction that they should be trying to push in. And then if you put Wyatt Teller next to Cushenberry and give JC time to fully heal and develop at right tackle, hoping he makes a jump into year 3, and then you draft, maybe at the bottom end of the top 100, another offensive tackle or something to groom these guys and start to get them ready. Kind of like Ursary was for the Texans. They drafted him in a little bit later. He wasn't a really high pick, and then he by middle of the next year, the guy was like the starting left tackle. I think the Titans should be drafting ahead best player available though, because with that in the top 100, you got to take at least one corner, and you got to get at least one guy, like a really high level starting corner out of free agency. Chiefs ain't about to let the Raiders stay number 1. I mean, the Raiders are sitting most of their team though. He said Max ain't going nowhere. I heard he's very disgruntled that they shelved him so they could lose on purpose. We definitely finna be back in Hawkins Wednesday for one last time, ain't we though? Got a shootout in the Bay. Yeah, that motion offense that Kyle Shanahan run is tough. Q, he said, but Smith not far and away better.
Let me teach you how to vibe.
Tate. I think Jeremiah Smith is way more explosive. Like, even when Cardinal Tate have good days, you look up and see Jeremiah Smith will have 4 or 5 catches for 100 yards. Like, but for the Titans, reason why I say that though, Lady, is would you take Cardinal if you got a top 3 pick? Are you gonna reach and get Jordan Tyson or Cardinal Tate when you could trade back and get Denzel Boston or Chris Brazel and then still get Zachariah Branch? Like, that's the way I see that they should go after it. And I think you got to get a top 100 corner like Dalen Everett. You got to get one of those type of guys, and then you got to get a guy in free agency, and then you got to say Marcus Harris will be back next year at the nickel. And out of the guys that's left, I would keep 2 on rotation. One of those is probably Baker Jr. The other one is probably Elam.
Let me teach you
and
how to
then
vibe.
I'd take probably like Amar Davis or something and put him on practice squad or something like that. But if I'm the Titans, I definitely draft 2 corners and a safety in this next upcoming draft. It's insane how much a year have changed for the Bears. But I mean, like, y'all did with the draft pick, you traded back a number 1 pick, you drafted Caleb Williams, you drafted an offensive tackle, you drafted Luther Burden, and you drafted a defensive tackle, and you got DJ Moore. So you got a 1,000-yard receiver, a number 1 overall quarterback. The top of the second round, Luther Burden was a wide receiver that everybody wanted in the second round last year. So it's like putting in Gardner Johnson and Kevin Byard and Montez Sweat and Swift. Like, y'all made good moves with y'all free agent pickups, and then y'all DBs got healthy because the Bears already had a defense. Titans playing with house money. They can mess it up. They can do what Rand did. Nah, I think that the Raiders told him that they're gonna shut him down because they're trying to get the number 1. Yeah, the Raiders got the number 1 pick locked up. Cam was always first. Lamar Jackson gonna be the Raiders' new QB. Now, if they would have been able to draft Shador like they wanted, Lamar might have got traded. sounds crazy, but I mean, the Ravens might have been ready to get rid of John Harbaugh and Lamar. Bears are good, but they still young. They got enough veterans around though. I still feel like a solid wide receiver. DK a solid wide receiver too. So like you said, focus on the D line, O line, cornerback, and if it's a wide receiver worth getting, it's always late gems. That's kind of what I'm saying. Is like a lot of people think we're gonna go after Alec Pierce or Dobbs. I'd rather have Dobbs over Alec Pierce, but I still feel like both of those guys are number twos. I think if you the Titans and you trade back and you sitting there in that second round and you get a chance to shoot at Boston or Brazel or Chris Bell or somebody, like, I think you really got to shoot Jeremy Bernard. I think you really got to shoot at somebody you think could be a number one. Now, if the Titans trade, I had a mock draft where I traded back and got Carnell Tate. Now, that would be even better. If you was able to trade back and get Carnell Tate, I'll show you how that draft, how that mock wind up. Man, I'll be seeing some. Bro, was it last night? Bro, I hate when it's so much junk in the Discord that I can't even see the stuff I'm trying to see. Sometimes y'all be
you how to vibe.
Discord. I ain't gonna lie. Yeah, I traded back and I got Carnell Tate. I got cornerback 6 out of South Carolina. I took offensive guards, Zachariah Branch, Dennis Sutton, Austin Barber, Jacob Rodriguez, Nick Singleton, Dalen Everett, Michael Taft, and Brett Norfleet. Like, I added players in, and they, like I said, like when the new coach get here, they got a chance to go into free agency and shore up some stuff to where they don't have to think,
let me teach you how to vibe.
Just get a guy. You can still do best player available. Max Crosby can come out to 49ers. He said, I don't think he liked that. Talking about who? If I'm the Chiefs, you lose purposely. But even if the Chiefs try to lose, like the Raiders are trying to lose harder. Pause. Is this safe place to say who that? Oh yeah, man. GG's in the chat, man. Y'all, the Saints did their thing today. 2 times. What up? I'll be back at the bar watching the game. Handle your biz. What is AI projected now with the trade backs? I haven't got into it yet. Now I say go Bears. Go Bears. I do like the Titans are gonna have a top 3 pick if they lose next week. So odds is right now it's looking like Raiders, Jets, Titans, Cardinals, Commanders, Browns, Giants. Like, I think it's gonna finish that way. And some people play each other, so I fight the Titans got a good shot at a top 3 pick if they lose next week. But then again, you know, Titans might be trying to get back in Jacksonville. Either way, Titans getting the top 5 pick at this point. But I think a lot of the trade back sheet is going to determine how many QBs come out. If you get more than one QB coming out of the draft, it's going to increase the value of those trade backs. But what's going to be crazy is if the Raiders do somehow beat the Chiefs, the Jets could lose and get the first overall pick and have 2 first-round draft picks. The Jets would be like sitting on
let me teach you how to vibe.
Sitting on cloud 9. Jets could be on cloud 9. Imagine getting number 1 and having 2 other firsts. You want the Texans to win the division for the 3rd time in a row, or let the Jags take care of business? I really could care less. I know they say Giants with the 8th pick. No, the Giants beat the Raiders today, so y'all drop down to number 8 because the Browns won. The Giants and Browns won, which puts the Jets, Titans, Cardinals, and Commanders up. So the Giants and Browns are behind them. So y'all are down to picking 6 or 7. Rest Trevor Lawrence. I don't know. Who's the Jaguars backup QB? I mean, 2 times y'all won that game and dropped like 4 or 5 spots, but I wouldn't be tripping about it though, because it's really gonna come down to who. It's really gonna come down to how many QBs come out. Because if the Raiders stay at 1, they're probably gonna pick a QB, and then if the Jets not beating the Bills week 18, so I expect the Jets to pick 2. The 2 teams that need QBs is the Raiders and the Jets picking 1, 2. If you the Titans sitting at 3 or 4 at worst, you got to say, like, do I want the best defensive player in the draft, or do I want multiple picks? If I'm the Titans, I want multiple picks, because the Titans got so many holes. Like, regardless of whether it's free agency or draft, Titans need 2 receivers, 2 cornerbacks, a safety, 2 edges, a right guard. You got to bring Oli Udoh back at swing tackle and hope that Crenshaw Dixon continues to develop. I don't know. Titans are in a good space. I think they should go ahead and extend Chig though as the move tight end. Let Gunnar Helm be tight end 1. Got David Martin Robinson still there, and I would still draft a tight end. Maybe in like the 5th or the 6th.
Let me teach you
I
how
think
to
it's gonna be some
vibe.
solid, bigger tight ends still in the draft. At the bottom half of the draft. Chronic, I'm watching 28 Bears, Niners. It's gonna be interesting to see how this boils down though. Y'all keep the questions coming, man. Shop is open. I'm just here. Sunday night football, Titans Saints recap. Let me get a look at the Titans updated statistics. Cam Ward now with 3,117 yards, 15 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. Tony Pollard, I believe Tony Pollard went over 1,000 yards. He's got 1,034 yards, 5 touchdowns, 4.5 yards a carry. Productive year for Tony Pollard. You look at Chig, 50 leads the team in catches and yards, 54 catches for 558 yards. That's why the Titans got to get a number 1 this offseason, whether it comes through free agency or the draft. It do feel like a playoff game. This is how these games supposed to feel at this point in the year. Second on the team, Io Manor with 38 catches, 465 yards, 4 touchdowns. Another touchdown grab from Io Manor today. The 3 rookies, Io Manor, Helm, and DK are 2nd, 3rd, and 4th in catches. Van Jefferson's out for the year. Who knows if Van is back next year? Who knows if Calvin really is back next year? So you look at the Titans' top pass catchers. Really, probably is not back. Van Jefferson's probably not back. He's on IR season-ending injury. And then, whether they decide to extend Chig or not. But A.O. Manor, Helm, and DK, your rookies are at the top of your team in receptions, which is a good thing for development. Bad thing if you looking for productivity to depend on rookies for all your passing exploits. Of all Titans pass catchers, DK leads the team with 4 touchdown catches. That's simply not enough. Not enough scoring. I mean, I honestly don't even know. Like, I'm gonna tell y'all a crazy stat. There's not an active cornerback on the Titans roster that has an interception. Roger McCreary has 1, the first game of the season. He's on the Rams. Xavier Woods out on IR. He's a safety. He's got 2, and Cody Barton's got 3. We don't even have a defensive back on the team that has an interception this year. EJ, what's good? Saints did their thing today, man. Congratulations, GG's. I mean, are y'all catching that? The Titans don't have a cornerback with an interception on the roster right now. Like, there's not one guy that has an interception at cornerback. Is, you know, that's spicy. Just don't have any interceptions at all. I mean, the Titans have 3 from Cody Barton, 2 from Xavier Woods, and they got 1 from Roger McCurry. That's tough. I don't think the Bears is going to be able to stop the Niners from scoring today. I think the Titans are going to have to rely on trying to find some more late round gems like they did this year. You know, Kyle Monungai for the Bears is a really good running back from the 7th round. I think the Titans are going to have to try to find something like that and see if somebody needs a productive back like Tony Pollard to trade. You know, it'll be Spears next year. Mullins is just now getting healthy. He's pretty much a short yardage guy right now. And then, you know, you just look at so many open holes. You got to fill right guard. You got to add receivers. You on defense, you got to have defensive backs. You need more safeties that are younger. You know, Kevin Winston and Monty will start next year, but like, who are you backing them up with? Said we fix them holes on defense. We'll be a ball hog team. I mean, to get interceptions, you got to have guys up front that can pressure the QB, and you got to have defensive backs that are in position. He said the 49ers got a heist with Purdy, not a steal. They really did. Getting a starting quarterback in the NFL that took you to a Super Bowl in the 7th round is still kind of crazy. I mean, this is gonna be a tough situation for the Titans because they have so many holes to fill. They really do. They got so many holes to fill. And to be honest, it's a lot of really good players that are gonna be like 2nd to 6th round. But I don't see anybody in the 1st round that, I mean, Caleb Downs is like kind of a can't miss pick. I don't see really many guys that's gonna be like 1st round guys that like, oh, this guy can't miss like day one. He's gonna be this. Like 1st round guys. I think maybe it's some guys that in the defensive backfield or linebackers or something like that that's gonna be really good. But I think the 2nd and 3rd round is where all the hay is going to be made this upcoming draft. And even in free agency, like George Pickens, I expect to be a Cowboy. Then, you know, who's spending $20-25 million on Romeo Doubs or Alec Pierce? Hopefully not the Titans. Because, I mean, let's look at Alec Pierce. Receiving this year, 871 yards, 4 touchdowns on 43 catches. I mean, is that 20? Does that sound like 25 million to y'all? And then if we go to the Packers and we look at the statistics of Romeo Doubs, 55 catches, 724 yards, and 6 touchdowns. Like, these ain't guys that I don't feel like is like world beaters. They're good receivers, but I don't think the Titans should be spending that type of money on those guys. Good DBs is going to be Tariq Woolen, Watson from the Chiefs, Alontae Taylor. It's going to be some guy. It's going to be a couple guys like that. Trey Hendrickson is going to be out there. Titans got to take a real look at, if they can bring in Trey Hendrickson. Before he held out the last 2 seasons of 17 and a half sacks in back-to-back years. And then Boy Mafe, Adafio Wade, Jalen Phillips. There's going to be some guys that's going to be available, but one, they got to want to come to the Titans. And 2, they got to be a fit for whatever the new coaching staff wants. I mean, watching today, I love to have Alontae Taylor or Tariq Woolen as a starting cornerback next year. But keep the questions coming. DB, what's good? Yeah, I think Alontae Taylor's back. I'm saying I'm trying to steal some players, bro. Like, I think Tariq Woolen might be back on the Seahawks. He's a former Pro Bowler. I think that's the thing is, like, some of the good free agents might get signed back by their team, and then they gotta want to come to the Titans. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the tough part that the Titans are going to be in, is you're going to have the most money, but you ain't going to be everybody's first pick on the playground. I mean, EJ, that's being honest. Most people don't be honest about their team. I'm saying the free agents, if we was to offer $15 million, $20 million for Tariq Woolen, Alontae Taylor, or Jalen Watson, like, they gotta want to come to Nashville. They gotta want to come here and play for the Titans. Same for wide receivers. Same for a Breece Hall. Same for Wyatt Teller or Vera Tucker or Evan Neal or whoever they go after at right guard. Like, they gotta want to come play for the Titans. That's why I say I think maybe you extend Chig and then draft another blocking tight end in the late rounds, like I said, Joe Royer or Lawson Lucky or somebody like that, or one of them big corn-fed Big Ten tight ends. He said, don't be talking about no Alontae. Listen, man, we're going to have a lot of money to spend. We got to get somebody. Somebody got one. Like, I mean, Titans going to have a bunch of money. They're going to have $120 million in cap space. They got to get somebody. Jags might rest their starters. Titans might win for no reason. That's the worst pick. If the Titans beat the Jags by the Giants already beating the Raiders, Cardinals lost, Commanders lost, Jets lost, Browns won, Titans will push up to 3. If they win the last week, I mean, I had it a second ago in my head. Pause. All right, let's say Titans beat Jacksonville, and they number 3 right now. Washington plays at Philly. Arizona play the Rams. Cleveland play at Cincinnati. Best case scenario, and the Jets play at Buffalo. If you the Titans and you win next week, the Jets ain't beating the Bills. Cleveland could beat Cincinnati with the way their defense played this week. And then you got to assume Las Vegas is going to lose to the Chiefs on purpose. No way the Cardinals beat the Rams, and the Commanders, no way they beat the Eagles. So realistically, if the Titans beat the Jags, best case scenario is hope that the Browns win, because Raiders, Jets would pick 1-2. Cardinals, Commanders would pick 3-4. Titans would be ahead of the Giants, would pick 5, and then Giants probably pick 7th and Browns 6th. So like the worst the Titans could do is at this point, if they won next week, is to be 5 or 6. So I mean 5 or 6 ain't, just because they resting their starters. Like Josh Johnson is playing for the Commanders, so Philly resting their starters really won't be a big deal. Because some of these teams that resting their starters, like the teams that they playing against, don't have that many good players anyways. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, Browns beat the Steelers, so the Steelers have a play-in game with the Ravens next week. Best case scenario for Titans, best case scenario is the Titans play good on the road and lose. Browns beat the Bengals, because let's say Kansas City lose on purpose to the Raiders to put them out the number 1 seed. The Jets get the number 1 pick, and the Jets got 2 other first round picks. Like, stuff could really get out of control this last week 18. Yo, Deadeye, what's good? I mean, a lot can happen in the top part of the a lot can happen in the top part of that top 5. So like right now is Raiders, Titans, Jets, Cardinals, Giants, Browns, Commanders. Then it's a skip to the Falcons. So those top teams is locked. Raiders, Titans, Jets, Cardinals, Browns, Commanders. The top 7 picks is locked. It ain't gonna change. But let's say the Raiders beat the Chiefs and Titans lose to the Jags. Let's see. It's a 4-way tie between Titans, Jets, Cardinals, and Giants. I don't expect the Cardinals or the Jets to win. The Titans probably should lose. Best thing for the Titans is Titans lose next week and Raiders beat the Chiefs. I'm looking at it. I don't got to pull it up. I'm looking at it. So the top 7 is locked. It just boils down to like Raiders, Chiefs, Jets is losing to the Bills, Cardinals is losing to the Rams, Giants is Browns play the Bengals. Browns could beat the Bengals and go 5-12. And then Commanders play Eagles. It's going to be interesting to see how it shake. But that's crazy. It's crazy that the Titans still, like, I think at worst, Titans pick 5th. Touchdown Bears. 35 all. This game is a shootout. Saints looking good and dropping low to compliment take Anthony Hill Jr. next year. That's who you want. Right now, let's see, 7, 8, 9, 10. The Saints is probably picking 11th, somewhere around 10 or 11. Who would you want on the Saints? The Bears have arrived, yeah. It's going to be interesting. But top 7 teams for the draft is locked. Commanders, Browns, Giants, Cardinals, Jets, Titans, Raiders. Go D, or probably O-line, and then wide receiver, running back. Who you want on defense? What team should the Titans trade down with if they get the 3rd pick? The one that offered them the most. So, you think about when you think about trades, let's see, draft trades involving the number 3 pick in recent years. Let's see what these teams got for trading the 3rd pick. Ruben Bain, Carnell Tate, or Anthony Hill. Where y'all picking? I expect Bain and Carnell Tate to be gone. In the last years, Trey Lance, the number 3 pick, was traded for the number 12 pick. This is in the 21 draft. They got the number 12 pick, so they went back 9 spots, and they got a 22 first, a 23 first, and a 22 third. So they got a first and a third the next year, and the year after that they got another first. Sam Darnold trade. Jets traded up from 6 to 3. The Colts went from 3 to 6. Got 2 second rounders that year and a future second. That's a huge package. I mean, if you're talking about dropping 3 spots in the first round and still having a number 6 pick, 2 second rounders and a second the next year, that would be great. Let's see. Dolphins traded in 2013. They traded the number 3 pick 9 spots back to number 12, and then they got a second round pick that year. Let's see. Let's see what the Travis Hunter trade to the Browns was. Browns went from 2 to 5, and then let's see. They went from 2 to 5, and then they got the number 36 pick, a second rounder, and a future first. So that was a really good trade value. There are no QB prospects quite like the guys at the time in this year's class. That's not a trifecta of QBs. But just think, if Dante Moore have a good playoff run, let's say Mendoza and Dante Moore come out. They probably be pick 1 and 2. And then one more trade is, because that was a Travis Hunter draft day. Let me look at Texans trade Will Anderson. But it also make those picks more valuable. When the Texans got the number 3 pick to get Will Anderson, they got a 4th round pick 105 too. The Cardinals they moved back 9 spots and picked up the 12th pick, the first pick in the 2nd round, number 33, and then they got a 24 first and a 24 third. So they got the first pick in the 2nd round, and then next year a 1st and a 3rd to drop 9 spots. See, if the Titans get something like that, they can't pass it up. Like saying that you're gonna pick up two top 100 picks and a future pick just to move back, 3 to 9 spots is like, the Titans have to take that if they get that opportunity. Reason being is, I don't think the receivers taken in the top 10 gonna be much better than the other ones in the first. Like, if you took Makai Lemon, is he really gonna be better than KC Concepcion? If you take Carnell Tate or Jordan Tyson, can you say they're gonna be better than Denzel Boston, Chris Brazel, Chris Bell, Jeremy Bernard, all the guys that's gonna go like in the first 50 picks? Like, you can't really say that those two gonna be like better than those guys. It's not impossible. I just don't see teams viewing this draft. But you gotta think, nobody would have guessed the Jaguars was gonna trade from 5 to 2 to get Travis Hunter, right? People were saying this wasn't the year to draft a QB, it's next year, right? This was supposed to be the low value QB year. Yet we watched the Jaguars trade a future first and 2 top 100 picks to get Travis Hunter. You see what I'm saying? Like, so it's not necessarily just the QBs. If the Raiders get the number 1 pick and take Mendoza off the board, and it's only Dante Moore sitting out there, if he come out, right? And let's say the Jets get 2. So the Jets take Dante Moore, Raiders take Mendoza. Top 2 QBs off the board. Titans sitting at 3. Then that's saying their pick is as valuable as any team that got draft capital that's saying, we want our crack at the best defensive player in the draft. Just like the Will Anderson pick, just like, some of these other picks that I've like laid out. It doesn't matter if a team's not willing to give up a Trey Lance type of deal for it. But if the Titans move from like 3 to 7, 3 to 10, and pick up like a 2nd and a future first or something like that, like that's whatever it is, they got to take it. Because I don't think, I personally don't think that whoever you take in the top 10, if you're not drafting a QB, it's going to be that much more guaranteed. Because, people are kind of out on Ruben Bain because of his arm length. And then Keldrick Falk is kind of a work in progress. And then Arvell Reese is going to be a project because he's playing stand-up linebacker. Somebody going to put him at edge. So, you know, like, end of the day, like, it just depends on Cowboys have 2 firsts, Rams have 2 firsts, Browns have 2 firsts. It's a lot of teams that got 2 firsts. Jets got 2 firsts. So you never know who's going to be willing to give up draft capital for somebody. It could be some team that want to take the best tackle in the draft, and they might have their mindset on Maui Goa or Fanu and say, hey, I'm willing to trade up to get the guy who I think is my franchise left tackle. Is there generational talent in your eyes that teams could trade up for, like Hunter? But you got to remember, last year, everybody thought the Titans should trade and get Abdul Carter. Abdul Carter was supposed to be the generational talent. It wound up being James Pierce Jr. was the defensive edge that had a 4.4 speed that had double-digit sacks this year. You see what I'm saying? Like, the Falcons getting James Pierce Jr. later in the first round wind up being a better pick than Abdul Carter being picked in the top 5. So it's like, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. If it's a team that scouted and says, I want Caleb Downs, it might be a team that trade future draft capital to say, I got Caleb Downs. Because obviously he's the best safety in the draft. It could be a team that views somebody out there and say, this person is the person that's going to be the piece to my franchise turning around. Because like I said, let's say the Raiders and Jets take QBs with those first 2 picks, and there's Arvell Reese, is Ruben Bain, is Caleb Downs. You got your offensive tackles. It could be some teams saying, I want first shot at the best offensive tackle. I want first shot at the best DB. I want first shot at the number 1 wide receiver off the board. So you never know. But I think that if you're the Titans, you got to get as much capital as possible. Because you make your team with rounds 2, 3, 4, and 5. You don't make your team just on what you pick first. You can pick some people in the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, and 5th that's gonna be like Chika Conquo was the last pick in the 4th round. Chim DK was our first pick in the 4th round. Gunnar Helm was a 4th rounder. Aomana was a 4th rounder. AJ Brown and Derrick Henry were 2nd rounders. Kevin Byard was a lower round pick. Amani Hooker. Sometimes, like Jeffrey Simmons was the 19th pick in the 1st round. Sometimes when you drop down and you picking end of the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th rounds, that's when you getting, guys you really study and did your tape on. What I will say, draft assets ain't everything. Got to have a front office that know how to use it. I think Bergonzi has a good idea, but they got to hire the right coach. Because just because somebody got the number 2 pick or 3 pick or 4 pick don't mean they're going to pick the right person. Like, there's going to be somebody who picks a guy 46 that turned into a dog. There's going to be somebody like Aronde Gasson, 5th rounder, Kyle Manunga, 7th rounder. Look at some of the guys that we see play and play well. When you like a player, do what I do. Go to ESPN and see where they was picked at. Because sometimes, like, if I ain't mistaken, watch this. If I ain't mistaken, like Max Crosby was the 106th pick in the draft out of Eastern Michigan. He was a 4th round draft pick. You know what I'm saying? You go to the Bengals. Yeah, I'm going to guys that are gonna be the guys that are gonna be the big free agent talking points. Trey Hendrickson, round 3, pick 103. Seahawks. Tariq Woolen, round 5, pick 153 out of Texas, San Antonio. How far along the playoffs? Next week is the last week, but it's some play-in games. Ravens, Steelers play for the playoffs. Yeah, it's definitely a good game. Stay woke. That was us drafting Trey nonsense, right? But I'm saying, like, sometimes the best players in the league ain't first round picks. What you pick second, third, fourth, fifth round is gonna make up the most of your roster. Those top 100 picks. Trey was a dog with the Saints. Like, we watching the Bears right now. Let me go to their depth chart. Jaquan Brisker, second round pick number 48 out of Penn State. Tremaine Edwards always be all over the field. He was first round pick 16. Kevin Byard, obviously Tennessee Titans, round 3, pick 64, Titans out of Middle Tennessee. Gardner Johnson, fourth round pick 105. Like, look at the stars on that's out there balling today. Jalen Johnson, round 2, pick 50. Montez Sweat, Mississippi State, pick 1, round 1, pick 26. Like, most of the guys that get picked that wind up being good, a lot of these guys are wind up not being your top picks. Or late first. These ain't like lottery top 5 picks that wind up being good players. I hope the Ravens win, because the Titans get a 4th round draft pick if the Ravens win. Coaches also need to be afraid of Ricky Lewis. Start waiting halfway through the season. Yeah, I agree. This draft this year is so nice for us. So many starters, but they ain't start using them until after the season is over with. Correct. Former Titan Luke Gifford. He's 30 years old, out of Nebraska. I like the guys' lower picks because you can see what you have. Oh yeah, Jets got smoked today. Well, I mean, Pollard got another year on his deal. Pollard had back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons, and he only got $2 million in dead cap next year. If I'm the Titans, I'll bring Pollard back. Spears is on a contract year, and you got Khalil Mullins. If I'm the Titans, I try to get a late round gem like how Monungai was for the Bears, or Pacheco for the Chiefs. Like, I like Raleek Brown, Henry from UTSA. It's a couple late round backs. Nick Singleton. It's a couple guys that are gonna be around the fifth and sixth round that you could draft and let those guys play on a contract year, and then the year after, if the guys you put in don't work, you could start transitioning to wanting to get a running back. I just don't think they could burn a lot of capital at running back with as many holes as they got. Don't know if they're ever going. Yeah, Jets front office is a dumpster fire right now. But it's a chance if y'all lose next week, Teddy. If the Raiders win against the Chiefs, the Jets had a first round pick and 2 first rounds on top of that.
Let me teach
Like
you
the
how
running
to
backs y'all got
vibe.
now. I need a little bit more explosion out of my running backs, but Tony Pollard's been productive. Second half of the season, he really came on. First half of the season, everybody was trash. Thorpe Jr., Farrar, what up? I don't think Tajay is a number 1 back though. So that's the tough part for Tajay because I like Tajay the person. Yeah, y'all gonna get Fernando Mendoza or actual. I don't know. It's gonna be interesting, bro. I just see they got so many holes that free agent. I would go after Wyatt Teller. I would go after some of these stud cornerbacks. I wouldn't be spending a lot of money in free agency on receiver though. I'd be trying to get Zachariah Branch later, and I'd be trying to get one of those dunkers in about the second or third. I'd be trying to get a Chris Brazel or Denzel Boston or maybe even Jacoby Lane or Nick Harbor or somebody. I'd be trying to get one of those type of guys. And then I'd be trying to get Zachariah Branch. I'd double dip the chip. Would you be surprised if Titans? No, I actually got a mock where I did that. You know, Titans could trade back and get a Maui Goa or Caden Proctor or I think if you go in interior line draft, second round Basantis or Pregnon. I like those two guards. I definitely wouldn't be surprised by taking offensive line first. I think if they top 5 is going to be edge. If it's past the top 5, best player available could be offensive line. Best player available could be wide receiver. Best player available could be cornerback. But I know edge, wide receiver, cornerback, and O-line are 4 pieces where they got to spend and draft. Can the Bears get a stop? All right, that's 90 minutes on the Shop Talk. I'm going to continue to live stream, but I'm going to be streaming late night on Kick and Twitch. Tap into that. I'll have some of the breakdowns. If you're watching on YouTube, 8 a.m. in the morning, I'll have Shop Talk breakdowns uploading. Appreciate, everybody tapping in. When I do gaming streams, when I come back on them on YouTube and Facebook, they're going to be vertical streams. And then my full length streams for gaming is going to be on Kick and Twitch. But don't fret, don't worry. Tonight is going to be a standard late night stream on the green and the purple. Shotbybuddha on Kick, Shotbybuddha FB on Twitch. Make sure y'all tapped in, following, because I'm going to give myself about a 1 minute reset. I got to get some more water, and then I'll be back live. We watch the game tape, game film. That's the reason why we have to leave Facebook and YouTube at a certain point. We have to be able to show the game film, and we can't show the game film and the press conferences on Facebook and YouTube for copyright reasons. But God first in the chat. I'll catch y'all in 1 minute on Kick and Twitch.